A breath. Yay.
Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. Happy Monday. I'm Jeneth Blackert.
And I'm Leon Katarina.
And this is the Hot Hustle Show. And today we're talking with Theresa Vee. And we are going to join just like this epic galactic angel realm today. Today we've brought in readers and channels, and we really want to take some live sessions. So get ready and get kind of grounded even in your body just for a moment so that you can really come in with some clarity and leave with even more. What would it take? I saw that Teresa just joined the line. Do you want to bring her on right now?
No, I think we definitely wanted to say hello and just greet everybody real fast and just say, talk a little bit about what you're feeling over the weekend. And then we'll get started with Teresa here in just a second. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was quite fun and insane at the same time.
Yeah.
Julia went over to stay with Jason and the girlfriend. And Jason looks like he's got a job in Virginia.
Oh, how funny. That's exciting.
Oh my gosh, I'm kind of nervous. My baby's leaving the nest entirely to a whole different place in America.
Yeah, but it's back where you guys grew up from. And so what a full circle there. That's exciting. But yeah, no, I can't get used to it. I want to build I was like telling my son, he's only 12. And I was like, I want to build a little house for you in the back. So you just you don't leave me. He's like, Mom, it's like, okay, I get it. You have hopes and dreams too.
Yeah, right. We'll build a community so he'll have some friends in Virginia. He's actually moving right to Northern Virginia, where I lived most of my, from like 5 to 18.
Okay, so you grew up there.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was so cool. We had extra teenagers at my house, or pre-teenagers. They're exactly Risen's age. And so we took them to a water park, but they had like a glow party. So it was kind of open late. Mm. So it was like, teenagers in a water park at like 10 o'clock at night.
Fun. That's fun.
It was real cute. They had a really great time, and we just wanted to celebrate them. All three of them had a really great year.
Yeah.
One of them made the dance team, the varsity choir, National Junior Honor Society. Ryzen had a really great year as well. Wow. And my niece started track, and she's going to go into high school. So yeah, just really cool. Yeah. And very it's cute because the two girls, they kind of grew up like I did, where yeah.
And how was your homework from what we put out?
Yes. So I did the morning sun gazing. I was trying to be lazy and wanted to get out of it, but I just got up and was like, okay, I can go back to sleep if I want. But I did get up and I did the morning sun gazing, and then I just really was like, okay, this is really pretty in the mornings. So it had me like really appreciating the sunrise, the air, the smells.
Yeah.
I can't say that I was like fully activated, and I kind of forgot what I was supposed to say, but
you're supposed to activate all your cells.
Yes, I did do that. But I kind of forgot the little clearing thing or the activation thing. But I did feel really present, and I did talk to my cells, and I really had some awarenesses around that too. And then I also corralled all of the a whole bunch more things to take to Goodwill.
Good for you.
So putting that stuff on the curb. I didn't do my nighttime routine just because we had a lot of nighttime activities going on. So by the time I hit the hay, the sack, if you will, I was so dead tired. Like, we came in from the water park, all took showers, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So kind of feel like I didn't do that there. And then last night I went to bed super early yesterday. But kind of because my belly was hurting, so maybe I did need some womb womb love. But
you didn't do your timeline?
I didn't do my timeline I did it on Friday. I didn't do it on Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I need to my commitment is to step that up and do all of them this week together.
Yeah. If
How
you
about
guys
you?
don't know what we're talking about, on Saturday I sent out an email that said these 4 speakers have given us some homeworks to do. So we were doing those homeworks, and we were inviting you guys to do some homeworks with us. Homeworks, that's my new word. We shared, Addison did this timeline activation, and Elisa Rushton did the sun gazing activation. So if you're looking for what these are that we're talking about, check your email, check the replay for week 1. Week 1 replays will still be open next week. So I want to just, if you want to join in the fun, we're all doing this together.
Yeah,
I
to
did
make
do
some
my
changes.
sun gazing because that's my favorite of them all.
Isn't it cool?
I really love that. Just waking up and adding minerals and water and really just kind of attuning to the day. And I did timeline in a different way, tried to do some timeline on my, leg and nerve pains down my leg.
Yeah.
And I did no cleaning at all. I thought about it though.
It's funny how we'll swap out things, right?
Oh, right. But I still have that on my wish list, and I will get to it. So
Yeah, I'm excited about taking all that stuff to Goodwill and just really clearing the space for some newness. Yay!
yay.
So if you have anyone have any, so we're doing a contest, or not a contest, but just whoever participates, not registered to win. Those are all my old radio words, y'all. Just a drawing, and whoever participates, you'll be entered in the drawing, and then we'll get some fun prizes out to you for those who are participating with us. And maybe sharing some of that on Instagram. One of the participants, or one of the people that have been following the summit pretty often, she had wrote in and offered it up as an idea. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So let's see what we can change here together. So we'll see what also.
And we've got our Instagram and YouTube contests.
That's right.
Our last week's winner was Anita won a prize.
Yep, Berkeley
and
did too.
Berkeley and Christopher. So all you need to do is go on our YouTube channel at Hey Jeneth and make a comment on the daily sessions. There's 2 every single day. So,
or you can do it on Instagram as well. So it's at the How to Hustle Media Instagram. So you can make a comment there too. So you get 2 ways to enter.
yeah. We also want to remind you about the lounge. It is happening tomorrow, is the very first lounge. If you want to give it a try, it's just $7. You can look for a link at lounge.houthustle.com, and it's at the bottom of every single email. So I hope that you guys, venture in and give it a shot. You also, with the lounge, get 10% off all speaker special offers. There's a coupon code. Once you sign up, you get it immediately, and it's tested and ready to go.
Yay!
Okay.
I think we're good now. We just wanted to get some stuff out the way and say hello and greet everyone. Remember, this is a talk show, so we do everything live, and just connecting with you this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning. It's afternoon here, but good morning.
Hi.
Just afternoon, I bet.
Just afternoon.
I tried to get you on in our last summit with Leonka and I together, and I couldn't. And we aligned so much from our first conversation back in November. And I thought, now that we've got this live audience, I really want to see how she works with people. And so let's
Start a new recording?
let's start a new recording and just kind of have this, quantum play with you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert,
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
and this is the Hot Hustle Morning Show. Today, we're talking with Theresa Vee, who is a channel of angels and dragons and all these other unseen realms. And she today is going to take some readings, and we're going to talk a little bit about her work, especially in healing. She is quite the epic healer and works with like even the healers that are healers, for the lack
That's
of a
right.
better
No,
word.
that's a good way to say it. It's like it's like she's the healer's healer, right?
Yeah, she's the healer's healer.
Yeah, that means that she's like, really at the top of her craft or expertise, if you will, which I think is super special.
Yeah. One thing that we missed on the last conversation that I wanted to start at today was we didn't talk about those unseen realms, the dragons and the fairies, and the angels did fall into there. And I wanted to just start this conversation just kind of playing in the land of everything and the galactic, world of everything and where you perceive things from.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we'll just start with everything. I love this. It's so much fun to play in to all of this. And I think especially now, when so many of us are feeling all this chaos and confusion in the world, to really realize how many realms of beings there are that are on our side, that are standing at our backs, that are now willing and able to help us and to be present with us when they weren't able to before. Sorry. So, for example, like the unicorns are they're sticklers for purity. They are purity, right? So all of a sudden now in my sessions with people, I see them showing up and saying, "Hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to work with you." And how wonderful is that we've gotten to a place with all the spiritual work we've done where the unicorns now want to work with us instead of
Oh,
hide
wow.
from us. So like that is a huge change that I see. So when we get frustrated with, oh, what have we done all this work for? Look at what's happening in the world. It seems the opposite of what we've worked towards. To really say, well, the unicorns can now work with us, and so it's working. These are one of the markers to show us how much work we've done to move energy. And they're there with us. We just have to be willing and ask for help. That's really the thing, because we signed on for a lifetime where we have autonomy, right? Where we get to make
Yes.
decisions.
Uh-huh.
So none of those realms can kind of take that power of decision making from us, but they can support us and help us in every single way.
I
Yeah.
love that you said that because it is a good reminder of, because sometimes when we look at where we are right now, it's always easy to say, hindsight 2020, oh, the past was so much better, or we were living in better times. But the truth is that we really have come a long way, and we've made lots of progress to where, the markers, like you say, the unicorns want to work with us, right? Like we've come to a place where we really have changed things, but sometimes it can get a little daunting to, when we look at everyday news or stuff like that.
Yeah.
How are other ways that you find other markers that have this kind of same? Yeah.
So the one thing I just want to say, like before we even just dive into that, is that the beautiful thing about this time is that anything that was hidden in shadow is just the light is so bright that it has no place to hide, which is why we're
Nice.
seeing so many of these old things repeating. It's also things we can't carry with us into this lighter energy, this love-based paradigm within ourselves and within the collective that really need to be looked at, balanced, rectified, left behind. So I just wanted to say that, but the another way that I've seen, and this is a really small thing, but really impactful. If you've been in the United States for the last many years, there's been like just two sides fighting each other all the time. No matter what is going on, there's just always two sides fighting and not working together. And what I've heard in conversations recently is people who were very much on one side or the other in conversation saying, you know what? I don't even want to deal with it anymore. It just
Yeah.
takes too much of my energy.
Yeah.
I just want to be present. I just want to, I just want what's best. And there are a couple times where I just like had to hang on to the furniture because I was like, this is the same person that like 8 years ago was yelling in my face about something. And so like those little miracles in our
Yes.
everyday life really show us how the energy has shifted. They show us how so much of that angst had come up for clearing and has been cleared. And now we're ready to build bridges to what's new from the place that we're at.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that.
That seems so true, right? It's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
like I'm in the middle of a supermarket and talking to somebody and I hear them say this and I just want to dance and do cartwheels,
Yes.
right? And
Hey.
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
That's
I
my
see we have
thing.
some agreement
Yeah.
from some of our audience members.
That's too funny. I
That's
always say
great.
that too whenever I feel this way. I always say, I just feel like I want to do cartwheels, like because yes, that like it just feels so, gosh, like the energy is so much more moving and so much more like you feel those miracles, right? Like, and that's what the miracle makes you feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another, Jenna, to what you asked about, the fairies are also much more able to work with us now. And they're very discerning, the fairies. Like if you are not a lover of the earth, if you are not taking care of Mother Earth, the fairies want nothing to do with you. And there are more and more powerful realms of fairies that are stepping forward to assist us, who would have never even considered speaking with a human, communicating with a human before. So it's really wonderful to see that, to see that happening, to feel that happening, especially for those who do resonate with the energy of fairies. All of a sudden, they're feeling so supported and so loved. And it's really wonderful just to be able to experience that and to be in this time. Like we all chose to be here now, right? And how wonderful to be able to experience these things and to see humanity waking up one moment at a time. Every minute new people are waking up to their power and their potential right now. And it's just how amazing that we get to witness it and to help the process along.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about your journey and how you actually got connected with these various different realms and how you work with people as well?
Sure. So my journey, it's a lifelong journey, let's say, and I'm sure it's many lifetimes. But in essence, I was told by a Swami who I was studying yoga with that I needed to go get my energy under control. And so she sent me to take a Reiki training. And so I took the Reiki training, and the moment I got attuned, I knew I had to go out. And this was like the thing I was here to do. Right. I
Wow.
started right then. The next day I had clients and it
Nice.
just never stopped. It was like then the next training came and the next right step got put in front of me. And so I actually started consciously connecting with the angels, like subconsciously at nighttime between wake and sleep, but then consciously in healing sessions with clients, and I am just the facilitator in those sessions. I am not
Yeah.
the healer. Like my clients are their own healers. So I'm facilitating sessions and the angels are working through, and I grew to understand who was guiding me, which one was speaking, to trust implicitly everything that they were giving me. And really everything sort of evolved from there. All of a sudden, my angelic guides were like, hey, guess what? You're going to be teaching about unicorns and you're going to be working with fairies, and like as I got really into gardening and growing my own food, then the fairies started showing up in different ways and the devas. And so it was just really being open, I think, is the thing. We can all walk this planet and miss everything until we're
Sure.
open. And when we're open, like everything and everyone can reach us in beautiful ways, and we're always protected as well. So it was really just an evolution of the next right step being placed in front of me because I would be open and I would ask for the guidance and I would listen. I would take the step when it was put in front of me. And for those of us who feel like we might have missed a step, I wasn't ready, so I didn't do it. Guess what? It's coming back. If it's yours, it's coming back. So don't ever feel like you let anyone down or you missed something because it will come back around if it's really yours.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I
And
love you for being so open to and courageous for coming forth. I mean, if you've been working in this work for a good amount of time, that means that you've had to probably have had to kind of navigate some of this stuff, maybe not on your own, but maybe when it wasn't so heavily talked about. I think we're just now really starting to have these broader conversations. And I'll have to admit, some of the stuff that you explained here are probably a little bit farther stretched than I have gone. But I'm so open to it, right? And I've been on my journey for probably 12, 13 years, but there's so much more that I'm learning and that's unfolding. So thank you, first of all, for that. I think it was more of a
Yeah.
comment, but thank you for that, courageousness that you have.
I know we've got people that on the line that are trying to open up to these psychic abilities. What would you say would be some of the steps that you took to really get yourself open to communicate with these realms?
Thank you for asking that, because the first step I took was hiding. So that was it. Like, as a child, I was a very young child and I was seeing things in the night. It turns out I had a near-death experience at 3 months old that I really didn't realize until later on that was probably why I was open. And so I would see things in the middle of the night and I was scared. So I shut it all down, just shut it down. And I was holding so tightly. I was like, no, 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 no. And then in my 20s, it wouldn't stop. That's when I was having like all these electrical issues. Like I would blow out street lamps as I went under them. I would blow out electronics. I went through computers and stereos like crazy, like back in the day when we had stereos.
Yeah, I
And
can relate.
it was insane. And that's why the Swami said to me, you have to go get your energy in check, right?
Yeah.
So once I did that, I was still fearful. But what happened was I left my first Reiki training and my guides started opening me in ways that they were like carrot on the stick, like come on, come on,
I love
you
that.
know. And so they knew I was a very visual person because I was an artist. So the first thing they did was open up my vision. Right after the Reiki training, I opened the door to leave the place where I was trained, and I saw colors like I had never seen before. I saw gentle auras on trees, and I was just taken by how beautiful things were. And so that's really what I find is our gifts open in ways that make us comfortable. And if something is uncomfortable, like it was in my childhood, all we have to say to our higher selves and our guides is, nope, no, thank you. This doesn't feel good. I'm not ready for this. And they'll find another way. Or tell them how it could be better for you.
Uh-huh.
Now, the other thing is we all have predominant gifts, right? Some of us are seers, some of us are feelers, some of us just know, some of us can hear, some of us actually can taste or smell things. So my advice is if you're looking to open your gifts, pay attention to your predominant one. Like, do you all of a sudden hear a high-pitched noise? Do you see like flashes of light and blips of color? Do you just know things? And start working with that one gift. Because some of us want to be seers, but we're actually hearers. It's
Yeah.
everybody wants the one they don't have. Pay attention to that one and grow to trust it implicitly. So you get to 95% trust and the other ones will start opening. So it's really just use the one you've got, practice, trust it, learn it, and then other ways will open. And that's the biggest advice I have because I see so many of my clients like, okay, I'm going to meditate. And I just want to see. And they get all tense because they want to see, right? But meanwhile, what they're doing is they're hearing.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
believe me, I know that.
No, I know. We all do it in different ways in our lives.
sure.
It's just part of being human. And the angels love when we do that because they think we're adorable, and they just approach us with so much love. They're like, "Oh, you are so cute." And you will see, but first here, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I love
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's take. Are you good taking some callers? You want to get a little deeper in the conversation? Is there something that you want to cover before we do that?
Well, there's just one thing you asked before about how I work with people. And so I
Yes.
just wanted to touch on that because that's a big
Please.
question happening now
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
it's shifted. So I do angel readings, and in those readings, it's really not just angels who come through. It's intuitive readings, all the beings of light, of support, of love who support you, anyone who needs to be there comes in and comes through that day. So that's one of the first ways. Another way that I'm working is through intuitive health sessions now. And so it's a combination of everything I've ever studied that's available. Like all the tools are there, but I'm working with your guides, your body elemental, my guides, as well as all of the healing modalities that I've ever studied and the ones that may be channeled for you in session. So it's really a combination of everything I have available to help you break through your stuck places in your health, your wellness, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, getting into your gifts and your purpose. So those are the ways predominantly now that I'm working with people, as well as my Healing Hub membership, where I send you healing energy every single day so that every day of the month you're getting closer to your goals.
I love that. Very
Absolutely. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
One of those sessions I heard you do, you're kind of like on the angelic, energetic side. This is all what's going on. And then, in your body, this might actually be the condition that you need to go get checked on. And I thought that was quite spectacular, the way that you kind of just meshed it all together as far as helping somebody. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. That's one of the fun parts about having a physical body, is there's so much we can do for our spirituality through our physical and vice versa.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sometimes we get so caught up, and I have been, like I said, I've been doing this work for, over a decade now, but, it's easy. Sometimes it can be really easy to forget how much of a contribution our bodies can be or want to be. And it's because, you're going like, oh, I just put on, I was wearing a swimsuit all weekend and I'm like, oh, things are hanging weird, right? I mean, it's itchy, whatever, but it's still a really lovely body. Like, and if you knew me, I came from, I was 50 pounds heavier. So, I do have the ability to celebrate my body a lot more because of this work. But at the same time, I remember there were days where I was just really mean to my body. And it's so easy to do that and forget. And just little ways, right? And my body's like, no, I want to love you. Just, I want to show you, or I'm aching because this reason. I want to give you more information. You need to know this. And I didn't, it was hard for me to hear at that time, but I'm glad I'm listening now.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. One of my favorite reframes for our body is the first thing that will happen is our fat cells will hold anything we can't process. Emotional, physical, mental, chemical, any toxins we can't process. So our fat cells hang on to them. So they stop moving through our body.
Your hand. Yes, my fat cells are doing that.
And
right?
We're doing that big time. Yeah.
So how beautiful is that? And that's happening for a lot of us right now. Okay. So I'm just going to say, look at all that's coming up on the planet. We can't possibly digest it all. We can't possibly process it all. So a lot of us are feeling increased weight because our fat cells are holding on to it for us until such a time that we can release it or process it. And so what a beautiful way, instead of what are you doing? Why do you look like this? Saying, fat cells, thank you so much for loving me so much that you are holding on to what I cannot deal with right now. I love you for that. Thank you for protecting me. Right? Like, what a beautiful reframe for our body. And then our fat cells felt seen, they felt heard, they felt appreciated instead of abused, yelled at, and shamed.
Yes.
Okay. So we're changing the way we speak to our body, to ourselves at the very cellular level. And we're loving ourselves then from the inside out. And that's one of the most powerful things we can do at this moment, because it's what the planet is asking for.
I'm adding that to my homework list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, after I do my cell awakening activation in the morning, I'm doing that. I'm going to be like, hey, all you fat cells out there, come on, it's time to celebrate you. And thank you for all your hard work.
I'm sure there was a lot I couldn't process. How do you want to take, callers?
Do
what
they
do you need
just
for them?
need a sentence or two, or
Tell you where they're from?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever anyone wants to share. You want to tell me where you're from? Great. You don't have to. You want to just tell me what's up and what you want to ask? That's great as well. I trust in the flow. I trust that everything is exactly as it's needed to be. And if I need more information, I'll ask.
Fabulous. All right. Melanie Joy, you are up.
What a beautiful name.
I know.
That's cute.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say that it is absolutely crazy that you were just talking about all of that because I had my hand raised before you started talking about talking to your body. My heart's beating so fast right now.
Oh, just breathe.
Oh,
Breathe. Give your body some prana.
Um, I've been trying to communicate with my angels for years, asking and asking and asking. All of my charts and everything say that I'm supposed to be very, very good at intuitive writing, automatic writing. So that's what I've been trying to focus on. And I did have some writings that had come through about what to add to the services. I do bioenergetic scans,
Mhm.
but I can't seem to get through to people what the value of it is. And so I have not been able to build a clientele on that. So I did some automatic writing on what other skills that I have that I could start to do. And one of the things that came up was my class is called Body Talk. And it's
Mm.
exactly what you were talking about. It's about getting people to start to understand what it is that their body is saying to them. And I also have a personal training and a nutrition background. And I've gone through all of the diets. I've done bodybuilding competitions and figure competitions, and I've led other people to do those things. So I understand diets very well, but what I've come to learn is the intuitive part of it is so much more important than following some sort of fad. And so I love to teach people about how intuitive eating and talking to your body that way and getting to know your body in that way. And then I have other classes about healing moves, which is just about getting your body to move with the flow to begin to get it to heal. I have other classes for art talk to bring people together and just be able to discuss why they're painting by numbers, you know. And I have other classes that are relax and meditate, but I've been doing this and nobody is coming to anything except for my best friend. So
Oh,
I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, and I don't understand what I'm missing from them.
okay. Beautiful. You have such a beautiful heart and such a beautiful intention, and you have so much talent and so many gifts. So I just want to start there. And how you started by saying, I've been trying to heal my angels for so long. Archangel Gabriel was standing right behind you and said, Stop trying. Stop trying, just do it. Like you have the ability to just communicate with us, but you're like all up in your head about doing it right or what am I doing wrong? Like just allow us to be with you. And they show me you're a feeler. It's like you process things through the heart. Do you find like your heart beats faster when you're with a client or something
Oh,
sometimes?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
like it feels
So
almost like an anxiety attack
exactly.
sometimes,
Okay,
but
so
I know
that's
it's
the
not.
angels. That's the angels working through you. Okay, this is how when I started working with the angels in healing sessions, my heart would beat so fast that my clients would think that I was going to like pass out. So so they're there with you and one of the things is they've been with you your whole life. So and you've felt them your whole life, so you don't recognize it as anything special. So that's
Okay.
part of what they're saying. So what I see for you right now is Archangel Metatron and Archangel Gabriel very strongly with you. Okay. And Metatron is very good at organizing and timing and all the things, and Gabriel is very good at communication. So it sounds like those are two perfect angels to be with you right now, right?
Okay.
And the other thing that I'm feeling is you have so much to offer the world that right now maybe take a step back from everything that's in front of you, everything you've created powerfully and with loving intention, and say, what would feel good for me to share with the world right now? And then put all of your intention into one or two of those offerings
Okay.
because your energy is very divided because there's so much. Choose one or two, put all your energy there and keep talking about it. Keep emailing people, keep sharing about it, keep talking about the value because you have everything needed. It's just what's really needed is that self-belief and that standing still. Like if you keep moving, people can't find you. If you stand still and you shout the message, people will be able to find you. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then your own work is really they're just showing me you standing in the light, you standing and being that anchor of light and trusting that that light is coming through you and you're not doing anything wrong. Just relax, open your heart and let them be with you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work you're doing also.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And Melanie, just so you know, when I started my business, I did the exact same thing. It was sort of like, well, this didn't work. Let me add, let me add, let me add. And I was just confusing like anybody that was following me. And once I started to kind of beamline in what I knew I loved to do best, what I love to do best, that was really what made that shift. So
Thank you. And may I say that your ladies, your lipstick and eyebrows are on point today. You look beautiful.
Oh,
thank
you.
you.
I'll receive that. Thank you, Melanie. And also, your topic seems super juicy, so I feel really confident in saying that they will take off. Yeah, just be patient too, and obviously do some of the things that or do the things that Teresa advised. But I feel pretty confident that like I said, they're very juicy.
Yeah, just keep following the energy.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. All right. So we got to take a lounge member next because they have priority. So Joe, you're up.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi,
I'm
Joe.
gonna go kind of a different place because I've been doing this for a while and something has bubbled up that I've touched on. Okay. Way
Mhm.
back when I was 2 years old, I was thrown through the windshield of a pickup, and I have never remembered that except for what I really dug and dug and dug for, and most of that was the emotional. I know clearly that is a linchpin around who I am.
Mhm.
It set up many things about, I pretty much got abandoned by my mom that day because she just couldn't handle the idea of losing a child. And it kind of set up a process. What's coming back now is more of the memories, and I'm keep getting this really strong message. Now it's time to do a recapitulation. Not forget anything I've done tonight, but yet look at it in some different ways. I'm curious about what the angels would have to say about that.
So much. Okay. First thing is I really feel the angels surrounding the truck the day you went through the window. So this was part of this is part of what your soul knew could potentially happen in this lifetime because of the lessons you wanted to grow through here. So they were all there ready for you. You set that up. If this happens, so they it's almost like they were catching you. Um what I was feeling when you were sharing was this huge energy just coming up and out and lifting through. I like actually felt it move through my body, and it felt like heartbreak energy, abandonment, heartbreak. And so what I'm seeing for you, what your angels are showing me, I see Archangel Michael with you very strongly, and I feel you as the person you are now going back to beautiful little child Joe at 2 years old and being the parent that little Joe needed when his mom emotionally, physically abandoned him, right? Like picture you go through the windshield
Right?
as the 2-year-old comes through the windshield, you're there to catch him. And you're there to give him the comfort he needed, and you're there to guide him now. And it feels like when that happens, parts of yourself merge in very powerful ways, and you are now able to be the adult that that child needed. That child is able to grow in ways it hasn't been able to grow, and everything in your life starts reforming itself because that energy is being meshed and worked out. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense to me. And for a long time, that whole idea made sense, but it made sense in a way of practicality.
Mhm.
way it's working for me now is not practicality. It has nothing to do with that. This is a big, big clearing, is what I'm sensing.
Huge.
It's just,
I'm
and it's been working at me for a while. It's just now bubbling up to that point.
yeah. I keep feeling it coming up and out. There's a couple of things that you might experience during this clearing. One is you may find yourself sobbing, you may find yourself wanting to scream, you may find yourself wanting to cry. Let it all come out. You may find yourself wanting to sing, but I feel it coming up through the throat, right? You may find yourself nauseous and you get sick, but just let that happen because it's all part of the clearing. And the Joe that I see emerging is you are just so beautiful in your totality. You're very beautiful now. I cannot even express to you how gorgeous your light is at this point. It's like I see all the sacred geometry merging your cells and that little Joe's cells. And it's really a beautiful thing. It is very, very powerful. And just let it take the time it needs. Don't rush the process because you've been working for this with this for a long time, and this is like the final release point and the final integration point of all of this. Yeah.
And all
Woohoo.
those things that you described are already happening. It kind of started about the middle of last week, and I can't get away from it no matter what I do. They're there.
Ask your angels if it gets too much for you, ask your angels for ease and grace in the process. Just say, it's a little too much for me to handle right now. I'm willing to do the work. Can I not feel as much right now? And they'll back off the energy with you and it'll still be moving, but you won't have to process as much physically or emotionally if it's too much. Okay?
Good enough. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Joe, for sharing that.
Amazing.
that's
I
fun.
love the ask your angels for ease and grace. That's, I feel like, oh,
Yeah, what a blessing that we can actually do that right now. We can actually ask for ease and grace and have the divine dispensation to tread lightly through some of this.
uh-huh.
All right. Fallon, you're up.
Yay.
Fallon, what a gorgeous name for you too.
No.
Thank you so much. I love my name. I'm very grateful. So I am kind of in the same boat as Melanie. I'm standing in this like full trust that like everything's going to work out. And yes, I just need to pick the one thing in my business. But just any insight that would come through would be wonderful.
Okay, first of all, kudos for being in full trust. Okay, because that is not easy. First of all, I'm just going to say that, not easy. Kudos. Fallon, what would bring you, if you had not to worry about business, finance, anything, what would bring you so much joy to bring to the world right now?
Healing land.
Good. Okay, what aspect of your work is healing land?
Just healing people, pretending that I'm in the places that I want to be. And that's the thing too, is I'm at this like stage where the business needs to make a certain amount of money so that I can get to Hawaii. Cause like, that's like the thing that I want. That's where I'm going to feel my highest and best. And I just know that like that abundance is going to come in.
I mean, who wouldn't feel their highest and best in Hawaii? That's
Exactly.
awesome. Okay, I'm seeing you there. I'm seeing you there 100%. You know what? Healing people is great. But when I said what aspect of you is healing land, you said healing people, right? So that seems okay. What if you invited in, like had a healing circle where you invited people in to heal land with you? You know, how could you do more land healing stuff since that's what brings you joy right now? So and as you invite people in, like maybe you help them open themselves up to their ability to heal land, or you teach processes to heal land. So it's just what I find is when you stand in your joy in that one service that brings you joy, then your angels, your higher self, open the path before you of what's next. And then all you have to do is step onto the next stone. And then when you do that, then the next stone is laid in front of you and it just keeps moving. And I feel you walking in so much trust already. Your angels are just like, we need you to have joy. So do more of what brings you joy. You still want to work with people healing, great. But remember, land healing is your thing right now. And what can you do? to do more of that? And how can it serve you energetically, financially, all the ways? Because it's all the same.
Amazing. Thank you.
I'm excited for you and for the earth
I mean,
and
I have a
everyone.
podcast with my best friend whose whole brand is Healing Land, like in 2 hours. So
Oh, great.
Please
So-
share it with us.
Yes,
yeah,
I love that.
Put it in the
FallonJordan.com
chat.
podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's FallonJordan.com, and then you'll just see the link for the podcast.
Yay.
Very nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
It'll be up tomorrow.
Yay.
So much. Thank you.
Thank
Teresa.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Manisha, you're up.
Hi, Manisha.
Are you there? Manisha, are you there?
Muted.
There you go.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, it was just a bit of a tech problem. Hello, Teresa.
Hi.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Lianka. Teresa, I'd love for the angels to help me with my liver problems at the moment that I'm going through, please. And I'd love any clarity.
Okay. I'm just feeling into your liver. So part of the energetic that feels like it's happening in your liver, I feel you being so spiritual, so beautiful, such a presence. And I feel like because of that, there's some anger that hasn't been worked through in your life. You know, maybe you didn't feel it was appropriate or whatever the situation. And that kind of the liver holds on to anger for us. It's like, I'll take it over here. So it just feels like there's an invitation for you to allow anger to release. And it doesn't mean you have to feel super angry. It just means that you know it's there and ask the anger to kind of give you the message that it has for you. Because once it's delivered its message, it can pass through, it can go away. It doesn't need to be stored anymore. So that's one thing. And then have you tried castor oil packs at all on your liver?
No, something that I've been thinking of. I've had liver problems for a while, but recently they've gone out of whack and the numbers are not very good. But I have tried homeopathy about a decade ago, again for anger, but then it sort of helped, but recently they've not been very good. Okay.
Yeah, it feels like if you try a castor oil pack, it feels like try it out, see how that goes for you. I feel like that could be very healing. But really you've got to try it and see how your body works with
Okay.
it. I wouldn't do it all the time because it feels like it might be a lot, so maybe twice a week to start and see how that goes. Um, it's interesting that the whole anger piece. Have you ever done a cleanse? Like, have you done a formal cleanse?
So I've done a liver cleanse a while ago, but I was just thinking of doing another sort of a gentle one. I've had total colectomy, so I have a pouch. So I have limitations on what I can do. And I don't have a spleen. So something that would work for me. So I've been taking like
So-
shots and beetroot and things
Okay.
like that.
So you're doing beetroot. How about green apples? Can you eat green apples like Granny Smith apples? You
Yes,
can?
without,
Those
yes.
are great. Those are great for the liver. They'll just get in there and scrub. So I would do that. Start with one a day and then work your way up to three, like one with each meal if you can, for a couple of weeks, if that could work for you. But this is why they're saying, okay, try everything a little bit, see how your body responds. And then the third thing they're showing me is to breathe. Take the breath through the nose, have it caress your liver, like
Okay.
swirl around the liver, and almost like pull out anything that's ready to go, and then just
Okay.
release it through the nose. So the
Okay.
breath is a huge detox. So those are three things they're showing me right now that could potentially help. It's just a matter of try them out slowly because they don't want to overwhelm your body and then integrate them as need be. And just again, like we talked about fat cells before, talk to your liver and say, hey, is there anything I need to know? What do you have to tell me? And what is there any way I can support you? And then see what your liver says to you.
That's amazing. I was thinking of also doing like a bit of fasting, maybe a few hours sort of thing. So,
yeah. Check with your liver before you do any of these things.
yes,
Okay.
okay.
And just say, and if you don't get a response, just say, okay, I'm going to try it. Let me know. Let me know if it works, you know, and it's you and your liver. You're in this together.
Okay. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the, insights and advice, because you're very big with Ayurveda. That's why I was very keen to ask you this particular question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's it can be really powerful, but because of where you are and what, you know, there's everybody's an individual and there's so many variables with each person. So yeah, so this is where they're showing me to start, but always, you know, if this works and then you want to go further, I'm around.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you. All right, let's take one more and then we will talk about how to work with Teresa. Constance, you're up.
Hey, Constance. Oh,
Hello.
hi.
Sorry, my camera isn't working this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry I don't get to see your beauty.
Thank you. There's a few things. I'm very drawn to Reiki, and I feel I'm a newbie, even though I've been able to give Reiki for maybe 3 years, but I'm taking myself more seriously. And one of the things that I'd like to know is, are there certain angels that are working with me more so than I'm aware of? And also, I'm not proud to say this or admit this, but when I'm in Reiki, especially with long distance Reiki, I go to a place that I believe is quite beautiful, and I have this what I consider a really nice healing. I see things, I feel things, but then it's like I'm looking for some validation
Mm.
from the client or from my guides, and I'm not getting it. And I feel ashamed that I'm even looking for that. Any insights?
Yes. Well, first of all, Archangel Raphael is like the Reiki angel, and I see him very much working through you in sessions. And the other thing I see is the dolphins working through you as well. Do you resonate with dolphins?
Huh. Not,
Beautiful.
I guess. I don't know. I never went there.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the dolphins have tremendous healing energy and they work very well with Reiki also, but I see them especially strong with you. I also see Archangel Ariel off to the side a little bit. It feels like she comes in and out as necessary, but it feels like you might be working more with her a little bit later on in what you're doing. And
Okay.
I want to take away the shame for you, okay? Because when you're doing things, it's nice to know, hey, is it working? Right? I mean, like I'm doing
Right.
all this stuff. Is it working? So, you're not alone in that. You know it's happening, right? You've been there, but you want to see validation from the other side. And I understand you're, you know, oh, you're supposed to not care, whatever. Well, that's not the way it works because we're human, right? We need to see that what we're doing is working, that our way of service is making an impact. We just need to know that. And that's what I always call empirical evidence. Like we're building up our muscles based on empirical evidence. So do you ever have time after sessions when you're working with people for them to ask you questions or give you feedback or ask anything about anything that came up in session?
Many times I will. I'll send them an email. If it's long distance, I'll send them an email. I'll give them feedback on what I perceived was happening. And then I'll ask them to email me back or give me a call. And very rarely do I get a call back.
Okay. Yeah. So is there a way at the end of the session to actually physically speak to the person? Like do a call right then? I'll call you when the session's over.
Okay, I could try that.
That's the time. That's the time because they're going to be just coming back. They're going to be fresh. They'll be able to ask you whatever's on their mind right then and there. And they'll be able to give you, it's not about what they're giving you, but they'll say, oh, this happened. What do you think that means? Whereas like by the time they get to their email and then go to answer it, they might have forgotten that. So I
Oh,
think
okay,
that closing that window of time will be of great service to you and to your clients because they'll be able to ask you the questions that they have at the time before they forget
okay,
them. And
okay.
that that's how I started. And I took notes. I took copious notes. And when I had stacks and stacks and stacks of paper. And I would go back when I had doubts. We all have doubts. I would go back and I would read the miracles that would happen in sessions. And that was my empirical evidence. That was what gave me the courage to keep going, even when I was questioning, like, what am I doing? Or when other
Oh,
people were questioning, what are you doing? So I recommend doing both of those things, closing that gap of timing and then keeping notes so that you have that evidence for yourself in the future.
okay, thank you.
Okay. And don't be ashamed. Let that go. Just get rid of shame.
Okay,
It doesn't
all
serve
right.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
I want,
Are we unmuted? Okay, so I love that because one of the things that I'm always suggesting on this show is just personally, I have been taking lots of notes and I have a little bit of a journal, it's a cheesiest little gratitude book that has nothing but blank pages and maybe a couple quotes. And I love this person for selling it because they keep getting me to buy it. And it's so, so sweet. But what it's done is that I find myself, I'll just do a little couple seconds of gratitude. And then all of a sudden I'm just writing like all these different things that I'm experiencing. And when I go back to look at my own personal journey and for those needs of validation and is this working and am I really connecting? I'll look at where I've come from because I can just read, how I was feeling in that moment. And just the stuff of like being able to see then to now, or those moments of having helped people in a client session, just little things, because I usually always give gratitude for that. And now I can sit there and say, like, when I look at certain things, especially some of the clients that I get coming back, how far their journey has come, like all of these little things are kind of like lightly notated in my gratitude journal. So I love the idea of just taking copious amount of notes. For me, it has worked wonders to have watched that progression and just to get that, like, yes, I know I'm connected.
love that.
And I feel like, my guides, my spirit, my higher, they all really celebrate that too. When I have those moments of, she remembers and she knows and she, like, we're connected, I don't feel like it's like I have to go through that as much anymore, but that's what I was experiencing when I first was starting to trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I do use that a lot still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa,
No
you're
matter
kind of-
how quote unquote advanced we get in anything,
Sure.
we're still human. We're gonna have those moments of doubt, like something doesn't go the way we think it should. We go back, and so just know that we're still human, and there's gonna be moments, and these are the things that we do to create touch points in our human existence of the miracles that we experience and we are capable of co-creating.
Teresa, I have to say, you're kind of like a medical medium and you're so humble about it. It doesn't seem like shock to my heart, like sometimes callers come on, I feel like that. It's just like you're so straightforward and I just love you so much. I just
love
wanted
you
to
too.
say
I was
that.
so happy to be able to come back. I was like, we had such a good time last time, and I know we wanted to like focus differently,
Yeah.
and I was just so happy to like just reconnect with you. And also, Leonka, you're just awesome. So I'm really
Oh.
excited to be here and to be
Yay.
Yeah.
Very excited to have you.
Fabulous. Let's go ahead and talk about your special offer. I'm going to share it on the screen and we can go ahead and go through this. What I really get from you is that you do sacred transformational healing through love and angelic guidance. I mean, that is who you are. And I just felt like this was just such the perfect package for you. So I'd love if you just go through this.
Sure. Okay, great. So are you going to scroll or should I pull it
Yes,
up
I'll
on my
scroll.
machine too?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Um, so basically what I create for an experience like this is what my guides are telling me is needed by the people who are here. So this particular package contains a miracles everyday meditation package, and it's 3 different meditations for where we are in the world, where we are collectively as a community, and where we are individually. So the first is the meditation for becoming, then is the meditation journey with Divine Mother, because we are all bringing in that Divine Mother feminine energy to rebalance the masculine. And we're clearing our earth-based chakras to crystalline. That's the third meditation. So those 3 can be used as often as you need, or, once if that works for you. It's really up to you. And they're all digestible. The angels always tell me to create things and to co-create with them things that are digestible, so people will actually use them. So that's kind of why we try to keep everything under a half an hour in terms of meditations. So, yeah, so that's really great. So then we have Global Healing with Archangel Raphael, and it's an audio that will help you to really embody your earthly experience, which is kind of what we've been talking about today, right? The need to be here, be present, as well as to serve, to maintain our neutrality when everything is going on in the world, and our sovereignty to be able to stand firm in the midst of it, and to avoid the collective panic, the frenetic energy we all are experiencing, and also to kind of just keep coming back to center. And Archangel Raphael will help us to kind of continue the healing process for the world and for every creature and being on it. And then the third piece of this is the Working with the Angels 3-part audio course with a bonus PDF. And this is to help you to connect with your angels and to work with them. And so we took this in 3 installments. The first session is working with your angels for protection. The second session is working with your angels for healing. And the third is working with your angels for guidance. So each of the sessions is focused on one of those things. And you'll be able to really begin to connect with your angels for those purposes and for so many more. Because once you've experienced them and you recognize them, you'll be able to continue building a relationship. And this course will teach you how to do that. So you can continue on after the course. So it just is, it's really, if you're beginning, it's a great beginning. If you're already established in your relationship, it's great to take it to the next level. And all of this is $97 today. So if you're ready and it sounds good to you and you'd like to work with this work, I really recommend it. And I don't just create tools, I use them, and I create from what I've used. And so you will experience more strength and sovereignty. You will experience being able to open your heart more, and you will be able to experience connection with your guidance, your guides, and all of the unseen realms. Because once you connect with one, it just expands, and others will be able to reach you through the lens of protection and your heart. So it's really a beautiful start and continuation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me offer this.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Yes.
yeah, thank you. I mean, it's a lot in there, and it's just a really, really great way to be able to work with your work as well. I mean, I can just feel myself kind of leaping forward, going, yes, I can see how I would choose this pretty easily, just because of what I've been asking for. So I feel like there might be other on the line that that I'm picking up on that from too. So if your heart's calling you.
I would have jumped at this honestly when I was looking. I would have jumped, and to this
Yes.
day, if this was offered, if I was watching this today and someone offered this, I'd be all in it.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's, I like to create from what did I need, what would I need, and because we're all in the same place, right? We're all working together to create and co-create what comes next. So it's all for all of us.
Yes.
Someone asked on the feed, how much is a one-on-one with you?
It depends. If you want a one-on-one angel reading, the angel readings are $197 for 30 minutes with the recording. If you want a deeper session, those are different. Those are priced differently depending on the session that you want. Like if you want like a health and healing session, it would depend on what you need and what you want. So it's all up on the website. You can go to teresavee.com and you can get more information that way.
Fabulous. And one of the things that I think is important to note with meditations is sometimes you need to get connected through someone else that is connected. That's what I found out for me when I started to channel and really work with my dragons. I really felt like I needed somebody else to be that bridge. Do you want to talk a little bit about being that bridge and how some of these audios could really contribute to that?
There so often in our lives, we're doing so much on our own, right? And we begin to
Yes.
feel isolated and, we hit our own walls sometimes. Okay, I've gotten to this point. That's kind of why being in spiritual community always helps us to go a little bit further, a little bit faster, because we're riding the collective energy. And so when you go into meditation, absolutely, you can have amazing discoveries. But sometimes if you're listening to an audio that someone else has created through their lens and that lens resonates with you, it can open you up so much further, so much faster in a way that you wouldn't necessarily have accessed yourself. So there are a few people that I will use meditations by because I just love their lens and I love listening to them. So it's really about what resonates for you, and it's very powerful. That's why, if you're somebody who's read the Bible, it says wherever there are two or more gathered in my name, right? You're gathering in a group, it raises the energy, it helps you. That's why if you take yoga, you can get into positions in a yoga class full of people that you can't get to on your own, on your mat. It's just the collective energy. And so, you're not going to go to a class with a teacher you don't like, so when something resonates, go with it and really pay attention, run it through your heart monitor and feel what feels right to you. And then that's your way forward. Does that make sense to what you asked?
Yeah. Who are some of your teachers that you've worked with that
Oh
you
my
might?
gosh. There have been so many. And so a lot of them are unknown, like to
Oh
the
yeah.
collective, but
Yeah.
I've learned so much from so many people. But some of the people I still really love listening to, I love Carolyn Mace.
Oh,
I
yeah.
adore her because she's in your face,
I love
but
that.
So
so
much.
wise. And like I get that. I totally
Yeah, me
get
too.
how that works. Um, I'm trying to think, like she's one that I will always go back to, no matter like from the time I started until now. But there have been so many people who have added to my journey, and I'm just grateful. Like I pass people on the street and learn every single day, and I might
Yes.
not even know their names, and it's just, oh, you are my teacher today. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you talked about that too with your work. You talked about just like a good collection of all the different modalities, all the things that you might have been exposed to, and then the other person might be exposed to. So that is something that you also bring into your work, and I think that's pretty, that's very acknowledging as well. And then of course bringing in the person that might be on the street as well as your teacher. What are some ways that we could do that more often in our life?
I think it's just really being open, and to a degree, it's called Ishwar Pranadhan in yoga philosophy. It's surrender, really. Just surrendering every day to the highest good
Mm,
for ourselves and for the universe and saying, please allow whatever needs to come through me to come through
yeah.
me today. Please allow whatever needs to happen. Help me to trust the process and to let go, because that's, I think, where we make our biggest mistakes is when we don't fully let go. And I'm just going to speak for myself. Okay. If I don't let go, it's a train wreck. So, and that's an everyday process, and it's easy some days and some days it's never going to happen. So I think that's how we can do it. And then when we are open, when we've let go, then we're able to see so much more and experience so much more than we would have been otherwise. Like if we're so focused on something, which focus is great, don't get me wrong, but if it's like, I just got to do this, I just got to do this all day, right? You don't see what's going on over here. But if it's like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be open in case something else needs to come, then that's when we are really in connection with everyone and everything.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna start doing that more often.
I feel
More.
like that letting go is the best advice. Last week we interviewed Mabel Katz, and she was talking about, it's really very much like coming to the universe and going, I don't know what I'm doing here. Guide me. And it's kind of given me perspective on Well, if we were trained as a little child, not instead of like washing our hair, brushing our teeth, getting dressed, and working on all the 3D of this world, if we were actually trained as a child to go within and really allow ourselves to be open and guided by the universe, right? We would be totally different people. We'd operate totally differently. And, it seems that do you think that you're a walk-in from when you had that little,
I was 3 months old, so I don't know. I've kind of thought about it, but I've never really known any difference. So
That makes
it
sense.
could be, but I was raised by people who had faith. They had religion, and I was raised in religion, and I was raised to have the divine be part of my everyday. Right. I found that for me, that was a real blessing to be able to go to school where I could pray, where I could give thanks if I needed to. Like that was important for me. And I only saw that like at the end when I came out, like how important that was for me, because I didn't grow up with the concept of the divine being separate from my everyday. But I also didn't grow up in a construct where you were taught to speak to the divine the way I would speak to the divine, right? Like I would come home from school and be doing my homework and like have conversations with Jesus sitting on my bed.
Yeah.
Um and
wow.
but like then I would go to class and I'd be like, "Oh no, you don't talk to Jesus." Well,
I
yeah,
get
I
what you're
do.
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um so
Just did.
so I'm grateful for that because for me that was really important and everybody has their own experience. But, I don't know, it's just so different because a lot of times you can't have that overlap of everything. And so I think that really helped me to see the divine in everything. And I don't know, I was a weird kid. I was a
That
weird kid. I would be at the
weird
library
means
like
of
reading.
spirit.
It was like all they had were books on ghosts. So that's where I started. Then I started like the religious
Yeah,
saints and then I just went on
yeah,
like whatever they had. So
yeah.
yeah.
My daughter's so into ghosts
I
right
think a lot
now.
of young people are right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
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 Um,
That's
but that's
that's where
okay
a
because
lot of us
they're,
find our start because it's an easy
yes.
entry point to
Yeah.
metaphysics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
guess it's a little scary
Well,
though.
no, I had those, teenager or preteens in my house, and they're like, they're checking out different things on YouTube, and I just kind of laugh. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, if it's something you're like, like use it against your vigilance system, just check in and make sure it's like, good for you or whatever.
Yeah,
But
you're not connecting with demons like through the Ouija board.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to put any judgments or anything, but like, I do feel like it's a little bit of an entry point for a lot of metaphysical and kids. I remember being like naturally gravitating to that kind of like stuff too, right? Kind of like
'Cause
just to know the unknown.
It's
Yeah, I mean,
available.
So a lot of kids are like doing
You
that.
go to little campouts and you
Yeah.
put the flashlight under your
Yeah.
mouth and
You
you
tell
tell the
ghost
ghost story.
stories.
So
You know?
I grew up right next to where Harry Houdini was buried, and he always said he was going to come back on Halloween. So every Halloween we would have a seance at Houdini's grave. It was like a thing that we would do. It never came back as far as we could see, but
Yeah, we did that stuff too. I never was that brave though, but
Wow.
did.
That kind of reminds me of Pretty Little Liars.
yeah, exactly. It was very much like that.
Ooh, that got scary.
That's too funny. But, being open to really exploring some of these things that you're experiencing, and if we can facilitate our young people to, just feel like open, just feel like there's an open communication, even talking with us, as fellow weirdo, that we then give them the permission to experience what they're experiencing without trying to run or judge straight away or making themselves wrong.
Exactly. And if they're interested in a way that's not necessarily light, right? Like that's how they're showing the interest. Then we can just always introduce that, hey, look at all this light that's available to you. And, do you know about angels? Are you interested? Like, so it's an entry point that's easy and available, and then it can be broadened. And that's what happened for me. It took a little bit longer, but, we have people now who are, it's a lot more open now, and
Sure.
every youngster probably has somebody who's connected in their life at this point.
Sure.
That's awesome.
I guess I'm going to bring on one more question. What do we do if we have a child that we feel like could utilize or use help from someone like you as far as healing and understanding how they're reacting with their bodies? Is there kind of a way that we can start introducing that as well?
Yeah, so with young people, it's hard because there's so much war going on with the body, but teaching them really to talk to their bodies from a young age, okay, what's bothering you? Did you ask your belly why it's hurting? What does your belly say? Okay, well, just make something up. What would your belly say if it could talk? That is a great entry point. And then just going from there so that they get familiar with how their body is talking to them. And it's never too late to start because we all have that inner child that's still there. So we
Sure,
could
and I was
still,
thinking, this
I
is
don't know what my
great for
belly's
us.
saying. Well, what would your belly say if it could talk? But otherwise, like I've actually gotten this question a lot recently, so I'm going to be putting something together
Oh,
for young
great.
people right now because they're really having a hard time navigating the sensitivity, navigating the energies, navigating their own changes, as well as the entire universe changing at the same time. So imagine, like, I can't imagine being a teenager in this world where everything is changing as well as everything in my body. So you know, um, but really just listening and supporting. I think listening and supporting without needing to give advice is probably the biggest thing. And then just keep asking questions. Okay, well, what do you think is going on? And then if they say, I don't know, but let them come to their own answers as much as possible. And then do the reaching out. Like even if you know somebody that can help and there's nothing that looks like it's there to help, reach out and say, listen, is there any way, do you know anyone, is there a resource? Because asking the question, our kids need help, they need support, let's get it to them before something else happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have an 18-year-old and she like didn't even start high school in ninth grade because that was when the pandemic was. So they're also affected still by that energy that happened in 2020, 2021, that they're still kind of just coming out of their shell. And I feel like they were suppressed and hidden in a room for like a year. It was like pandemic
They
jail.
were, and that's
Such a vulnerable time to be shut in. Yeah.
We're seeing that we just saw that in like the preschool age children also. It's every kid missed a very important stage of development in terms of socially. So I mean, there's always a trade-off for decisions we make, and it's just like,
sure.
okay, well, now how do we address and tend the harm that we caused by protecting? So it's
Sure,
just
sure.
like
Right. And
so yeah, and it's just they're never going to catch up in that way, but there'll be something different. They'll be a different kind of human because of it, and they'll be
yeah,
stronger
that's
and more
true.
resilient and more appreciative of connection when they're able to really do
Yes.
it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, any other questions? If you want to type them in on the chat, go for it. Rasha says, try bracket test the spirit by the spirit. Do you know what that means? Or do we need her to explain that?
I think she was making a comment.
It's so cute. Everyone's like, I love unicorns. Still connected with the fairies, the dragons.
Someone asked about black unicorns. I hope you're all happy. Oh, just lots of love here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see.
Great.
Yes.
Hey, I'm seeing Joe's comment, like he's having things happen since we talked.
Sure. So
Wow,
I'll just
that's
read
cool.
it for the people that are audio. Thank you, Teresa. I don't know what happened in our discussion. Somehow that opened a direct flow to the Akashic records. It's like watching a movie of that accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And okay, so when this happens to us, we don't need to stay in the trauma. It's opening for us to release. Ask for what you need. Ask for support. Ask for love. Ask for holding. I see Divine Mother holding you to her chest like a mom. I see the angels with you and holding you. So when these things happen to us and we go into the replay, know that it's not what it was. There is support down there now. You're rewriting the memory. You're rewriting the incident with how it really was. Okay? So see the support. be available to the support and let it be available to you. It feels really important. It's changing your whole structure, your whole genetic code, your DNA. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh. Like literally
Oh, I just
rewriting
got
like
that
this, the message of
opening.
unsupportedness of abandonment, it's being recoded. Like right
Oh,
now it has been, but it's over the
yes.
next 3 days especially. Please stay hydrated. Let the process be the process. And Joe's also
Wow.
opened this up to everybody. Anything, any
Yes.
energy of abandonment, any energy of trauma, physical, mental, emotional from an early age, there's a healing available to everybody because he opened the door to it. So
Yeah.
your angels are all with you and they're able to work you through that, especially in your dream time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I got chills all over because
Mm-hmm.
even my daughter, she's adopted, but she was abandoned right at the get-go entering this world. So I'm gonna open that up to her too.
That's
Yeah.
interestingly, I've had a couple of clients recently who are dealing with the anger and the emotion of abandonment from adoption. No matter how loved you are when you're
Yes.
in your home with your parents now, there's always going to be that coding in there. And so healing that is really huge part of the process for people who are adopted. So, if you're feeling that and you were adopted, don't feel weird. It's always there. It's something that can be healed. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're still loving your adopted parents, but you just need to heal that part that tells you you're less than. Yeah.
Wow. So that is kind of an unworthiness message, right from in utero.
Well, a
Like
rejection, really. It's
rejection.
rejection. Like, what was wrong with me that you
Yeah.
couldn't love me, that you couldn't take
Yeah.
care of me, that you couldn't keep me? How after I was born was I not enough for you to hold on to? You know, and it's
Yeah.
like at that moment, we're supposed to be held and nurtured, and that's natural, right? And then we're taken away from the body we've just been in for 9 months and put somewhere we
Yeah.
don't recognize. So and as much love is there, that's just that moment that creates that
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teresa,
Wow.
so my best friend found out she was adopted like after she was in grad school when she took the blood test of her parents that did not match hers. Yeah, and I know why her mom did it. It's because she had to believe that that was her daughter, right? So, but of course she's living with this now, or has been living with this now. Is this particular the meditations, the healing that you have in this program, would this be something that I could gift her, like purchase for her, and then say, hey, I got you something that I think that might help? Would would this be something that you would suggest like that?
Absolutely, especially for her in particular. Like
Yeah.
I'm real feeling her energy, the Divine
Sure.
Mother meditation. The Divine Mother
I
meditation, and
gathered
then
that.
the clearing our earth-based chakras to crystalline after she's worked with that one for a bit. Um, and then the other things could help her too. I don't know how open she is to like angels and stuff like
She
that, but
is.
definitely start with Divine Mother and work with Divine Mother because that's the energy that is needed for her right now. Um, I feel it here, like here for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really painful here. So Divine Mother can come in. And if she needs more work, just you know where to find me.
I do.
Like I
Thank
just
you.
feel
Thank you
like
so
she might need
much.
more holding.
Sure. And she worked with a lot of people that were passing away during the pandemic as a nurse. And so I think just like as you are a healer of healers, she is too. And so I think might need some of that back.
And that's all here too. This is sorrow. This is lungs, emotion, like it's all here. So everything she's experienced in the last 4 years is
Yeah.
just here, just
Yeah.
sitting. And like it's almost like her chest is, so it's time for it to go. And
Yeah.
yeah, she can start the process. Tell her to go slow. Do it once, don't like rush into it and give herself a couple days to see how she feels.
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Fabulous. Well, any last words that you feel like the audience needs to
I
hear
have
before we
all
wrap
the
up?
words.
This is my favorite part in a way. It's like you get all the juicy bits right here.
Yeah. So I feel Archangel Ariel wants to step in, and what she needs you to know and what you need to know is that you're enough. You're enough as you are right now to be the catalyst for change that you know you're here to be. You're holding the right energy. There's no more that you have to do to be in exactly the perfect spot right now to do what's needed of you. They just really want you to open yourself to the angels, to the guides, to the support that is available to you. You don't have to do this on your own anymore. You've been doing it on your own for so long. Rest into the love, the support, the strength that is here for you, and let us hold you and carry you through. You're such a beautiful soul with so much to give. Let yourself receive. Please let yourself receive. That's how we move forward from here.
Beautiful.
I felt like I needed to hear that on my own too, all by myself. Wow. Just a reminder, if you are looking for the special offer in the email, it's below the graphic. In the page, it's below the watch, and it's also in YouTube as well. So, and I will put it in the chat as well, guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
totally
much,
missed
Teresa,
that.
for your time. And just you have an energy that is so calming,
That's
and I
sweet.
thank you so much for just the reminders and the ability to tap into that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for being here. Everyone here is just such a beautiful soul, and it's such a beautiful light, and I'm just grateful to be basking in the light that's here today.
Thank you. Yeah, beautiful. All right, we'll play again, I hope,
I
sometime.
hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Okay, you guys, stick around. We've got another session in about 30 minutes with Karen Thompson?
Tobiasen. I believe that's how you say her last
Yeah.
name, and she will correct us if we are wrong.
As usual.
Yes, it's okay. I am okay. I'm so used to that. Everyone says my name all kinds of different ways, but eventually we all get there, right?
Yeah.
But she's going to be pretty profound as well. Wasn't that a great session, you
My
guys?
gosh, it was so fun.
Wow. And what just a different experience. I was thinking of like her energy versus a Monday morning energy, or just the news or anything like that. Like her energy versus that as a contrast. Like I was thinking, my gosh, this is such a beautiful way to start your day. Even if you couldn't join us right in the beginning of the day, that's okay. You can go back and listen to this replay. It still has that running energy. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost like I was like, who are your guides? Or who do you go to as teachers, like real life teachers? And she said, Carolyn Neese. And I thought, well, gosh, that is kind of the energy she has, isn't it? Kind of that clear, succinct, badass.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like they're just straightforward. Here's what it is. It's just so great.
Thank you for all your messages. It really helps to motivate and keep us going, and keeping this as a free resource for everybody. We definitely love doing it. So
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, Lianka has some cool things for us.
I do.
I know. I just thought maybe I'd say that and be like, oh yeah.
I love her so much. I'm one of those people that I definitely have to kind of plan things out or get my mind wrapped around things. I always tell my husband, I was like, never surprise me with like a surprise party. Like I have to know who's coming, what am I wearing, how fast do I need to straighten my hair? Like just because I feel like I'm so out of sorts, but at least I know myself in that way. However, I love spontaneity. So there we go.
Yeah. Well, Lianka opens Akashic records.
I do.
And does some cool things like that.
Yeah.
And, I thought since the lounge is happening tomorrow for this new group, maybe you would like to keep the energy moving and take some
Absolutely.
readings. Do you want
So
to?
yeah, I do definitely do. I do want to do a bio break, 2 seconds, but when I get back, so what I'm going to say is, please be thinking about like what you might want to work with as far as a question. Lots of people come to the Akashic records with, what is my purpose? What is I've been feeling XYZ. Can you let me know a little bit about that? The really cool thing about the Akashic records today is that before I found that we were working in the past a lot. And today, the Akashic records with our upgraded DNA, it really helps to integrate where we were before, really staying in the present, and then utilizing that for our future. So we work a lot with the future energies as well. But your masters, teachers, and guides and loved ones, they want to connect with you. And this is a little bit different than specifically just only connecting with your guides. This is masters, teachers, and loved ones, and then the lords of the Akashic records. So I think you'll be pretty surprised. Like, I don't know, I hope you'll be, be able to work through some stuff. So if you've got a question, be thinking about that. And as soon as I get right back, then I will walk anyone who wants to through their Akashic records in a little mini session.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to go ahead and raise your hand, if you want her to do a session, go ahead and do that now. We'll go ahead and queue you up. I also do some real cool work that we can demonstrate, and that is demonstrated more in the lounge. But I just want to queue them up for Lianka today so that she can do some mini readings and really take you through the experience and talk about, what's really possible when you continue to do this work and continue to allow the universe to express its experience through you, for the lack of a better word. I really, this work, you should have known me if you would have met me, 15, 16 years ago when I had just started this work, you would not recognize me now because I was so high strung, such a type A person. And like literally I was in such a high, beta state, which I now know what that is, that my angels couldn't get a word in edgewise, even if I had been like, angels, please talk to me. There's no way that those angels would have been able to speak to me. And it's through this work, through having various different luminaries, help by contributing on these calls, really made such a difference for me. And today I can just, be, right? Be and create and ask and receive and the whole shebang, right? So, and if you want to experience that kind of experience, I want to invite you to the lounge, where twice a month we meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. We will, we just open up the line and each of you get to talk and say, hey, this is what I'm creating in my life now. This is what I'm working on in my life. This is what I'm struggling in my life right now. And we just kind of come and follow the moment, follow the energy. You get guidance from Lianka, you get guidance from me, you get guidance from everyone else on the call. And it's just $33 a month. After this week, we are going to change around the formatting with the lounge. So if you're called to it, we will then ask, for you guys to pay for the year for the lounge because we want people to stay and contribute. But right now it's $33 a month and you can get started for $7. It's the very first session for this new group starts tomorrow. It's Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're called to it, please join it. It's a small group right now. It's not like, there's you're not going to be able to even talk. It's a really intimate setting. So, you'll definitely get some coaching there. So I just want to put that in the chat so you guys have it. And then Lianka's going to take some readings right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you read Joe's message. She said, yes, Jeanette, the lounge had a lot to do with what came up today. It brought me through to that safe space. Thank you, Joe, for that acknowledgement. It's really special.
Yeah, yeah. And if you noticed earlier, you get priority access to asking questions on this call
Or any of
if
the
you
series.
are a part of the lounge, which is also a contribution so that you could even, whenever we open it up for speakers, you always get chosen. I think it's just you get 10% off speaker special offers, and you also get to meet with us twice a month. So, I really hope we get some of you guys to join us in the lounge. It's just such a fun and playful place to
Awesome.
to
Thank
join.
you, Christopher. He said, good deal. I'm planning on it.
Yippee!
He also said, Christopher said, hey, got YouTube and Zoom going. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And
thank you.
Christopher was a winner last
That's
week.
right. That's right. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a few hands raised.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and
Let's.
start with Lisa. Is that
Sure.
kind of what your
Yeah.
vibe is?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll hit y'all probably, but let's start with Lisa. All right. Lisa, you're up.
Lisa says she's planning on joining. Thank you, Lisa.
Yay.
So you'll get a lot more of this juiciness too. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to open with the Akashic Records. It's called the Pathway Prayer Process. It's by Linda Howe. And so I read it out loud so that way you can learn it as well, because my desire is for everyone to receive their own messages. That is primarily the premise of all of my work. All right. So, and Lisa, will you tell me your full name?
Like middle name, first,
Yes.
middle.
So no, and the name, not the one you're born with, but the one that you use on your documents today. So
Oh, the one that I was born with, or not the one I was born with?
not the one
Sorry.
you're born with, the one you use on documents today. So if your social security card is something different than that one.
Lisa Michelle Wood Sneed.
Okay, Lisa Michelle Wood Sneed, right? Lisa,
Yeah.
what's your question?
My question is, and I'm sorry, I'm really pretty new to this. I've never asked a question about my Akash from someone else. I ask my guides all the time, but I want to hear it from somebody else.
Sure.
So if you remember, some of you in here might remember, I've been talking about this MS healing. I want to know if that is something that's in my Akashic records. Did I come here to experience multiple sclerosis and heal it?
I'm already getting messages, but we'll go into your records directly. Okay. All right. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good and for the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, protect me from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know Lisa Michelle Wood Sneed.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yes. Just put the
In the
vibe out
light
there.
of the Akashic Records, to see Lisa Michelle Wood Sneed through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom, compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of Lisa Michelle Wood Sneed would have for her. And then I'm going to repeat this 2 times to myself. The records are now open. Hi, Lisa. So we come to you as your masters, teachers, and loved ones. We know that your first question was based upon who and what, where, and the time for which you connect. Do you mind repeating your question?
I have been healing multiple sclerosis for the past 4 years. I was diagnosed in 1997. It really blindsided me. Was this something I chose? Did I come into this life to experience this disease and to heal it?
We would ask you, dear one, first, you know the answer to this question. We would ask that you go inside yourself to find that correlating piece, which would have the energetic match for the question that you have at hand. However, we also understand that this way to ask or to seek the answers can be very confusing. So we would provide you with the direct answer. However, we would implore you to always go within first. If I was to ask you right now, what do you think this answer is? What would be your answer? You
I
do
answer
not have.
yes to both of those
Correct.
questions.
Correct. We would also ask that you just take a simple breath here and know what it is to feel to be within your records, for this is your safe space and the place where all time for every experience that you have ever had in any incarnation or not is recorded here. You are a very dynamic soul. You are a powerful soul. The power with you comes because you have chose to come to Earth, which is in and of itself, for all of you listening, a very big task, an undertaking, for you are the bravest of us all. The second is that you would know that to come have a disease would be to say, I have done this, and will the other people that are around me know that they can heal themselves? For MS is one of those diseases that eludes you and your kind. They elude humans because there are so many different variations of how MS can show up, and because it is one of those that has often been misdiagnosed. So for your case, yes, your intellect and your intuition both have played the highest keys for the way in which you heal yourself. I know you feel like you may not be done with that journey, but those are the outside symptoms that you are still experiencing. But the inside symptoms, the ones that have been breaking down your highest form of cells, have already been on the track for the highest healing, because then you have already put that in place. You know this to be true. Am I correct?
Yes.
I thought you would agree. So the point that I'm trying to make here with you is that you simply need to continue to have the faith that you have so much that wants to elude you at times, but the need for illusion is no more need. The point that you really should take away from this mini session is that you can have all of these ways in which that you connect, but sometimes that faith can leave you. Faith is probably not the right word, but for the purposes of time, the reason why that you feel sometimes disconnected is because you still see the outside repercussions of the symptoms, but the symptoms will subside. Just continue on the path that you have, because you are a light for others. You know this to be true as well. You are going to show others how you did this, and you will do so humbly, but it will come, and it is already in place. So continue to just be the love and light that you are, and people will get that.
Thank you.
Receive that. Yes. We love you so much. Please know that you are never alone, Lisa, and this form of communication is just one, for it is always available to you now. And now that you have another way of communicating, you can always use that, even for yourself.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
I love you.
We can take another question, and we can keep the same records open, but we'll revisit. Actually, I'll close hers. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen.
All right.
Do we have time for
Katir, do you want to do one more?
We can do one more.
Okay. All right. Katir, I believe is how you pronounce your name. You're up.
Do you have a question? We can ask that in the records, but will you give me your full name?
Is this me? I'm up.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I spelled my name wrong in there. It's really Katie.
I love you so much. All right, Katie, what is your middle name? And or
Um,
actually your name as it is on your on your documents today. So in other words, if your social security number is different from your number, your name is different from the one that you're birth with, give me the one that you use now.
okay, it's Catherine Ann, maiden name Turner, and then Widman, Widman.
Do you use the Turner ever? Or do you just use
No,
Whitman? Whitman.
just
Okay, so that's
Widman.
the one I want. So Catherine
Catherine
and
Ann Widman.
Whitman. Okay. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, protect me from all forms of self-centeredness and help me to direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know Anne in the light of the Akashic records, to help to see Katie Ann. Help me to know Katie in the light of the Akashic records. Help me to see Katie Ann Widman through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom, compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved one of Katie Ann Widman have for her. I'm going to repeat this twice to myself. The records are now open. Katie, do you have a question?
I have 3 questions, and if you only have time to answer one, that's okay. But first question is, I am an alcoholic, which I kind of hate that word, but am I ever going to beat my alcoholism? Second question is, am I going to be alone for the rest of my life, or am I going to find a life partner? And then maybe most importantly, am I meant to awaken in this lifetime?
Amen. For your question, Katie, we would ask that the energy behind the asking is the crux for the trouble that you have. For when you surrender, as the word would say in the maybe you rejected this before, but maybe we would invite you to open your heart to a different way of seeing this. For when you surrender, as the work would of AA or Alcoholics Anonymous would ask you to do, that is all it simply is there is only the energy of a spiritual awakening. So sometimes when humans use the terminology that they have the most resistance with is the beginning of their crux point. However, we would invite you to not see a crux point in that request of your desire, for it is with your heart that you most desire these things. When you can fully surrender, then you can sit there and say, okay, I now see where my masters, teachers, loved ones, guides want me to go. In fact, this is the reasoning for the words higher self. You are never alone. This is basically yourself connected to full source. So the information that you get, whether you go to AA or any other resource, would be the same, but the way in which you get there is the only difference. So your heart could desire various different many ways, in the same way that you have a desire for companionship with a loved one, not the in a relationship maybe in the way that you would have a spouse, but these things happen on your highest timeline. And the way that we would invite you to receive your highest timeline is by saying, okay, I am surrendering here, in the same way that we just talked with the previous speaker about the previous guest y'all had on this very same format. Katie, we are so happy that you would even have this question, because that means that you are open to a spiritual awakening that is beyond your own imagination, with the biggest miracles that you can ever have. These are all here for you, and we would only ask that you just be with that question a little bit longer and for stronger times. Does this resonate with you?
It does. Yep.
We love you. We want you to have everything that your soul desires. And the truth is that you're the one that desires this. It is your soul that wants to have these things. So when you ask for the resources, know that they will be placed in a way before you, even recently. And maybe you just saw some recently, but maybe you could look upon those with a different light of eyes, a different viewpoint, if you will, and just ask the prayer to be with you, to have it's not strength that you are looking for. It is the resilience and the opening of your heart, that you ask, that you have the opening of your heart to just at least receive a little bit of the information that is being provided to you already. For it will flood you with so much light and so much more joy than you can ever imagine in this exact moment. But it is all here for you and is already, in some ways, I know outside of your realm, but already happened. And you simply just needed to draw it in, even the lover. And we thought that would make you smile.
Yeah, definitely.
These are
Okay.
all in your realm for sure. Thank
Amazing.
you so much,
Okay.
beautiful Katie.
Thank
Send you with
thank you
love.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, the records are now closed. We thank you, master teachers and loved ones, for your wisdom and guidance. The records are now closed. Amen.
So much love on the chat, you guys. Thank you for contributing.
Lots of people received big yeses for you.
Mhm.
Oh, Katie, you're so loved. And me as Leonka talking, I was an alcoholic as well, and so was my mom. I still am. I mean, we still use the word. And now I just can use it a little bit more brave. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't
And
like that word because it's like you're defining yourself as that,
I
but that's
know,
not
I
what I
know.
am.
I know.
I know, and I know
Yeah.
that the current, AA and all that is, what utilizes those. What I've done is I don't ever take them apart, but what I do is that I remember that this is just one way to have relief, and so if it's working, I just stay with that one way of having that relief. I think the energy for you is still coming from your connection, so that's why my cadence is still holding that energy, but there's just a lot of love there. And if you ever want to just talk offline, just real quickly, I'm happy to speak with you. Just
Okay,
one person
thank you.
for a love person too. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much, you guys.
of course.
All right. In just a couple minutes, Karen's going to come on and we will continue to take readings later in the conversation with her. She's kind of cool. She's had a near-death experience, and I think it's going to open a lot. So I'm going to lower your hands right now, but know that you've got to raise them as soon as, if you want to have Karen do a reading for you as well. Again, I just wanted you to kind of sample some of Leonka's magic so that you would know kind of what's in store, in going through the lounge. If you've got a dream, if you've got something that you're reaching for, this is the place. It's, it's a really inexpensive small group where all we do is keep and support moving everyone forward. And we use the show and information from the show and information from readings and everything that we've got so that, we can keep, supporting the universe to support and continue to help you grow. So I'm going to put the lounge in the chat
That
one
was
more
so beautifully
time.
stated. It's like we use everything as support to continue to support you and grow, including ourselves. I mean, we learn so much from this too that we can bring to the show, and they're just one of the other lounge members talked about paying it forward, and so we're gonna put something together around that, you know, about how can we be all together, utilize our talents. When we don't know what we have to give, sometimes we don't know what we can share with others to create more change in this world. And that was something that we got from the lounge. There's just lots of sharing. Of course, you can always share your ideas here too, but this is just another way in which we help you facilitate moving these things and ideas forward.
Yeah. We had a question on the chat. Can you read orbs?
Can I read this orb, or can I read an orb?
Any, right?
Any orbs. I probably haven't tried. I can tap into the energy of what you said there, though.
Seems like if the energy's out there, it's probably possible.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing to mention with the lounge is we're really on a journey to really make your 3D life your best life, for lack of a better word. That's why we were guided over the weekend to put that little homework contest together, just adding one more fun challenge to all of this. If you don't know my work, I play with this weird-ass fifth dimensional energy that I call awesomeness. And I do it with hands-on sessions and, you know, through question and focus. So you'll get to, in the lounge, experience some of that. If you missed my story, I'm going to go ahead and put that out. It was kind of funny until I talked about the story on Friday. I didn't really realize. You know, I think of myself as resilient, almost to the point that I've got to prove myself as resilient. And, I had, all of life kind of come to me in this like crazy chaos. And it's finally coming through, and I'm acknowledging the change for that. Thanks to y'all. Your contribution and questions that moves this whole conversation forward. I mean, we're all, gifted, magical, infinite beings here on this planet. And it's really fun playing in this way. So good. It's like the ultimate in personal development.
I was going to say one more thing too, for people that are on the line that feel like maybe you don't know if you are connected or connecting. I'm just going to say, like, if you're on this call,
you're connected.
I don't mean to say that jokingly, but like, it's true. You are the best of us. Not like there's a hierarchy, but you are already like so far getting in your journey, right? Like, you are connected.
I look at y'all as advanced practitioners,
Yeah.
I'll do a bonus hypnotherapy session next week, and you'll get to experience kind of what that's like. But I do them live because they are so freaking powerful with all of your energy. And especially if I can get y'all really present and get y'all really paying attention, there's so much more energy in the room. I know some of you, turn off your cameras and you do the dishes or what have you. But even if you are doing another activity like that, I just invite you to just like right now, just focus your presence on these sessions so that we can all contribute to greater change. Yeah.
Or make a promise to go back and re-listen to them. Re-listen to them even if you thought you were on the line. I mean, I re-listen to our own calls all the time.
Right.
There's so many things that I miss because I'm hosting, so I'm trying to like kind of balance things, but like there are just so many beautiful nuggets of information that maybe I wasn't able to receive at the time. And then now I've just integrated something. And so then all of a sudden it's like, whoosh. And I'm like, what? I swear I've heard that call 3 times and I had not heard it that way before. I mean, raise your hand if you read a book or something like that, and you reread it again, and that happens, yeah.
How many times you just space out, and that's the exact thing that you need.
It's so true.
You're just like, you're not ready to receive it, but then...
Christopher said, word. I